Hi there, welcome to another episode of Canada's Movie and TV Hosers. I'm Gregory Barrett, and with me is my lovely wife Christine.
Hi, everybody.
And this is Sleepy Kitty here, Fluffy. She's joining us again. She's all tired out today. Now, just to break it down for you, how the show's going to go, we're going to do one off the top news, then we're going to do a bunch of reviews. We've been trying to do 30 to 45-minute episodes, but this is probably going to be a longer one. And then we'll do comments at the end and how to contact us. If you enjoy this, please like and subscribe. We're slowly gaining subscribers there, dear. So we got a couple new subscribers. Yeah, that's right. It means someone's actually watching us. And if you are watching this, thank you very much. If you enjoy it, give us a thumbs up. And subscribe. We post these videos, these longer episodes, a couple times a week. And then I post small shorts that are a minute or less, usually a couple times a week, with new stuff that I watch. New stuff out the theater, and also stuff that I watch at home if it's on streaming, or if I watch an old movie. So we discuss all things fandom, discuss movies and trailers, mostly, TV, streaming, books, audiobooks, lots of pop culture stuff. So today, we're going to start off. Did you have any off the tops you want to start with?
I just want to say, last week I was talking about us being on Hoth, and that was the picture that was supposed to be behind us, but somehow we ended up changing it. It was just a bunch of trees in a park.
We are coming to you today from sunny Mexico. Where are we in Mexico? Punta Cana?
Yeah, I guess so.
So our relatives, they decided they were going to go there, so we decided, hey, we'll just tag along, you know? Yes. And here we are broadcasting from Mexico.
Thanks to Gregory's mom for the pic.
Yeah, we're not here, you know, in snowy
It's minus 10
wilderness out here
today, Celsius. It's so cold.
No,
My
we're
feet
not.
Are still
it's
cold.
30 degrees here in Mexico. I don't know what you're talking about. Jeez.
My toes will warm up now.
Starting off today, we just got today, they released a teaser trailer that's about 40 seconds long for Fast X.
Right.
And this is coming out soon. Okay, this is coming out this summer, I believe.
Oh, it's only in the summer. Okay.
I think it's coming out in May, but I'd have to check. So they released a teaser trailer, and it shows everyone getting out of the car. Lots of people getting out of the car.
Yeah, lots.
And it goes really fast. You really got to pay attention. I don't know who a lot of those people are. It's got a lot of people, but a lot of others that I do know.
Yeah.
Okay, because it's got Vin Diesel. I know he's Dominic Toretto.
Brie Larson.
Okay, Brie Larson gets out of the car. Charlize Theron's there.
Yeah.
Jace Momoa's in the car.
I don't think she gets out of a car though. She's just
Statham's there. No, she was there.
Statham. Yeah.
So they were there in this teaser, and then afterwards, like later that day, they released the full trailer.
Right, we saw a lot.
And we're supposed to get a lot of trailers this weekend because it's Super Bowl weekend. So a lot are going to drop on Sunday. But we already got Fast 10.
Right.
This might be a good idea because if so many are being released on Sunday, it'll get swallowed up, right?
Right.
So if they release it early.
But what a cast it has.
So, yeah. So and just to give you guys the heads up, we are not Fast and Furious fans.
I don't think I've ever watched one.
Yeah, and until I recently did my Fast 9 reaction,
right?
Because everyone was talking about it, I had to check it out.
I was see Hobbs and Shaw. Though.
I saw Hobbs and Shaw.
I think I saw that.
I saw that in the theater. Did you see it in the theater or at home?
I'm pretty sure I saw it. I like Jason Statham.
Yeah, Statham and Dwayne Johnson. Now, do you know which one is Hobbs and which one is Shaw?
He's Shaw, isn't he? You know that?
Who?
Statham?
I'm pretty sure Statham is Shaw.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm wrong on that, let me know down in the comments below.
I don't remember, but I just know it's fun. I like those movies. All the Transporter movies.
But you haven't been watching Fast and the Furious. Neither have I. So all I've seen is Hobbs and Shaw. I can barely remember it. And I saw Fast 9 recently, which I can also barely remember. I'm like, what is going on?
Because when we
I remember the Fiero going into space.
We were laughing so hard. My father and I were listening to it, and we were like, what?
All I remember about it is that they had to drive the car into space off of a plane with some rocket strapped to it.
Drop off a plane.
And they had to go...
You mean send to space from a plane.
Yeah.
Not drop.
So they take the plane up, Okay, the plane's going up and the car's on top of it with these giant rockets strapped to it. And so then they release it and it just activates the rockets and the plane goes down. And then lands safely.
The car is not on a rocket and then rockets. It's on an actual plane.
It has like 3 giant rockets attached to the top and back and sides of the car.
And it's supposed to steer it with the...
Yeah, you just drive into space. Right. And I'm like, wow, how do you do that? Yeah. And the whole point is, for some reason, which I can't remember, they had to go and dock with a satellite to deactivate it. But they couldn't do that because it didn't work, just because it's a Pontiac Fiero from the 70s.
Like bad science.
So they just drove through the satellite.
Why not? Well, this movie does appear to be on planet Earth. Okay. And the heist thing there is a helicopter hovering not too far above the highway.
A lot of this stuff, some of this stuff looked interesting in this trailer, and some of it looked like, how did they do that?
Well,
helicopter thing?
I don't like it when they smash up those beautiful cars. I don't like that. I like the cars, especially the antique cars. It gets me. I don't want to see them smash those cars.
Since you're the resident, I guess I'm the resident Fast and Furious expert because I've seen 2, but I can't remember them. But as we don't have a lot of... Did these teaser or trailer make you excited to see this movie?
Well, and like Jason Momoa looks as an awesome villain in it. He looks very animated. Mm-hmm. It does look fun. If I get a chance, I'd watch it. As long as I don't have to watch all the other previous ones.
I don't know.
I don't think I do. It looks like it's...
I can't see myself watching all those...
I don't quite get why they're all together driving cars. But
I can't see myself... watching 10 movies, including rewatching 9 and Hobbs and Shaw.
I won't. I'll just watch this one if I get a chance. It does look fun, and Jason Momoa looks awesome in it.
This is set to come out May 19th. So this is kicking off the summer.
Yeah. Well, if we get a chance, I'm going to see it. It just looks fun. I mean, it's not a high-thinking movie or anything like that.
This movie looks like it might be $1 billion movie.
It looks fun. The cast is crazy.
Vin Diesel, Jason Momoa, John Cena, Jason Statham, Michelle Rodriguez, Brie Larson, Helen Mirren is in these movies.
She's not driving a car, though, as far as we can tell. They didn't give her a car. Too bad. Maybe
Who else is in this that we know? Or is it Jason Momoa and John Cena? Like, they just bring in Charlize Theron?
Yeah.
What the?
Anyway,
it's got everyone in these movies.
We'll have to, I don't know. If we get a chance, we could watch it. As long as we don't have to watch all the other ones.
Apparently, everyone's making money off these movies, and
people like cars. But I don't like when they smash the cars. Oh, I can see.
So you're gonna go see this?
Maybe if I have time.
So the trailer did interest you?
Yeah.
Okay.
It just looked fun. It looked like those other transporter movies.
And they're doing it's about street racing. They're bringing it back to street racing.
Look like street racing.
Apparently that's what the first one is about. Or
this
the first
one doesn't look like street racing.
I don't know. I didn't see them.
It looks like terrorism.
They always end up doing it. They're like an international mercenary group.
It's like a giant mine or something, or it looks like an escape pod.
I'm pretty sure they're an international mercenary group, and they can do whatever they want with cars,
it's like the
including
ball,
drive them into space.
It looks like the ball from it looks like one of those escape pods from Star Wars, but instead it was the ball in Indiana Jones, and it's just rolling through things.
Okay.
I don't know what that has to do with anything. Anyway, it just looks crazy. There's explosions.
Looks pretty crazy, and I don't care about this this franchise, but I'm gonna go check this out, and if it's good, I might go back and check out the earlier ones. I can't promise that,
I don't know,
but
it might just be a fun time.
They're just, as far as I can tell, they're just cartoon, wacky movies.
It looks silly, but I don't like it when they smash the car. I could see they were smashing some nice old cars. Anyway.
Okay. We weren't going to talk about trailers today. We do have more to talk about, but we'll save that for the next show.
Okay.
What do you guys think about this new teaser and trailer for Fast 10 that dropped? You heard what we think about it. Let us know what you guys think down in the comments below, and are you excited for this movie? Why or why not?
Well, if
have you seen any of them? Yeah. Have you seen all of them?
People are fans of it. They can't wait, I'm assuming.
Yeah, so let's get into our reviews, because we have tons of things to review. So first I want to talk, last weekend on the show, I didn't mention Knock at the Cabin. I had posted a spoiler-free reaction video on my channel. One of those 1-minute things on the Thursday preview night, but we didn't talk about it. And it's just because I didn't really have anything to say about it. This to me was a nothing movie. So really I said what I wanted to say in my reaction. I don't have much to add to that.
Well, you didn't like it.
yeah, it was boring. There was no big climax. There was no amazing
Oh.
twist or
That's
anything.
what I was hoping for.
I'm
something...
sitting there, like, if you've seen the
Cool.
trailer, you've seen the
Yeah.
movie.
Oh.
And I'm like, there's nothing more in
Well,
it.
that's too bad.
They just gave you all the beats and you're like, okay, what's going to happen? Well, that's it.
Shyamalan movies are normally not like that. Maybe he had pressure or something to release it earlier. I don't know.
I don't know.
There's some interesting story. Like Old was quite good. There was that stupid stuff at the end, but I still liked it. Old was quite.
I
a good
enjoyed
story.
Old a little bit.
It was quite a good story.
I
That
wouldn't
was
say it
the
was his
the last
best
one.
movie.
No, but it's still it's going to be entertaining. That's why I'm surprised it's Knock at the Cabin. It's not. I mean, Old was really entertaining. It was
So, Knock at the
interesting.
Cabin. Oh, it's mixed reviews. 68% of critics like it on Rotten
Yeah?
Tomatoes, and only 65% of the audience said something good
So
about
I
it.
don't think I would like it then.
I don't know.
Try to go to see
I
it.
thought you were gonna go see it. That was your February pick. You were
Yeah,
most
I know.
looking forward to.
The problem, I have to have a chance to go.
Go see it this
It's been
weekend
storming
and
all
report
the time.
back. So I'm not spoiling this.
I thought you were
I
gonna
don't think
take
you
me-
really
I
can.
thought you were taking me to Titanic for Valentine's.
We're talking about Knock at the Cabin. We can talk about Titanic.
I don't have time to go to Knock at the Cabin. If
You
we're going
want to go
spend
to
3 hours going to Titanic.
3 hours 15 minutes seeing Titanic 25th anniversary.
Plus the previews.
I wonder if they put more in it. Maybe the theatrical wasn't that long because then they put stuff in because James Cameron likes to add more scenes afterwards.
It was long, but at that time movies were shorter, so I don't know.
I
It
think
might
that
not
movie
have
was
been-
quite long.
It was long. I recall it being long, but like I said, like movies were like an hour and a half at that time. So this one, it was 2 hours. It would
Okay,
seem long.
so wrapping up what I was saying,
Yes.
Knock at the Cabin, worst movie ever.
Okay,
I-
I might not go see it. then.
I think you should check it out because I think you might like it.
I like an
over me?
interesting science fiction story,
Okay.
which it looks to be a science fiction
No.
story.
What do you
No?
got? Well, go see it and you can report back and let us know what you think. What do you guys think? Did you see Knock at the Cabin or not? Maybe you saw my review and you said, no, I'll skip, or my other spoiler reaction, you skipped it. Let us know down in the comments below. So that was one I want to mention quickly. And the other one that I want to mention was something I tried to start watching
Oh, that
on
doesn't
this
sound
week.
good.
Yeah, so Monday night I sat down to watch a movie and I clicked on, I'm watching something on Netflix, what was new, so I clicked on Pamela, A Love Story.
Oh god, I told you it wasn't gonna be.
So
good.
this is the Pamela Anderson biopic of herself.
Infomercial.
Yeah, but as I started watching it, I didn't make it 10 minutes in, and I'm like, this is not good. It was information that it doesn't make her look good. It's talking about how she was brought up in really poor and really terrible environments and that, and I'm like, I don't want to hear this. And it was kind of like,
Parents are still
feel
around.
really sorry for her, and I watched that Pam and Tommy show on.
Yes, you talked about it.
It was on here in Canada. It was on Star through Disney Plus. I believe it was on Hulu in the U.S. After watching that, it had Sebastian Stan, the Winter
Yeah,
Soldier, in it,
You talked about
and
it
it
on the show
had
before.
what's the lady from
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Downton Abbey. The girl that
Lady?
she was in yesterday. She was in
Michelle Doherty. I don't
no,
know who
she was in a young girl in Downton Abbey. What
Oh,
was her name?
the one that played Rose in Downton Abbey.
Maybe. I don't know. Pam and Tommy. I'm gonna look
I
it up.
don't
This
know.
is bothering me. So I watched that series last year or
She
2
didn't
years
have
ago.
any input
And
in that.
after
That's all
yeah,
I
but
know.
after watching that, I had way more respect for her. And I hated Tommy Lee even more
I
because
never
he's
had
kind of
respect for her, and then I tried to watch her show. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. Her show on the Home and Garden.
Lily
Network.
James played Pamela
Yeah.
Anderson.
Yeah, that is. The
They did an amazing job on
She
the
played Rose.
makeup. It was incredible.
Okay.
Anyway, I had more respect. I
she's
go to
not
watch
bad, right?
this Pamela love story thing on Netflix. Couldn't even get 10 minutes in. I'm like, nope, not watching this. So I can't really review it because I didn't see it. But what I did see was not for me at all.
Well,
So if
I don't know.
you're not going to watch this,
I'm not gonna watch it because I don't want to promote her because I don't think she does anything good for women.
Okay.
Okay.
I'm not going to watch this. But if you did see it, or if you made it further than 10 minutes that I did, let us know what you think down in the comments below. Now let's get into an actual review, one we can do together. So, Star Wars, The Bad Batch. We got
Finally.
we got 2 episodes this
Finally,
week.
we got something going back to what we were getting before. This previous 3 episodes that were really filler and didn't do very much. So, like, one of those episodes is fine, but we had 3 in a row of filler type episodes. I was getting really disappointed. But
I didn't enjoy one of them. The other 2 I enjoyed, though. These 2 episodes
went right back to the story that we were dealing with before those previous 3. So I was happy with them. They went and it continued the story. It's just odd the way they had those 3 discontinuous type of episodes.
Looking up what I posted
before,
about
but I did enjoy them. They're all about what's happening out there with basically the clones and where they're gonna go and what's going on with them.
Yeah,
and
phasing out of the clones, right?
Yeah, and it continues the story that they've been telling this whole time, season 1 and now season 2. But it was just those 3 episodes. I don't know if it was 5. This whole 4, 5, and 6 or
7 and 8.
No, but the 4, 5, and 6. They weren't really progressing the story at all.
No, not really.
No,
but this whole series is about all the clones, not just the Bad Batch. I'm finding
those 3 episodes didn't seem to fit in to the story very much. Anyway, I enjoyed though these next 2. We got back to what we've been getting all along, previous.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed them, and
we can probably spoil a little bit about. So there's so we get to see some returning characters.
Yes.
So Captain Rex is back. That was awesome.
People might not know who he is, but
so there's a clone conspiracy is episode 7, and then episode 8 is called Truth and Consequences. So the clone conspiracy doesn't feature any of the Bad Batch.
No,
it completely has nothing to do with
and
them.
We've seen that
and we get to go back to Coruscant,
right?
Which I always love going back to Coruscant.
Right.
It's such a crazy world.
With the episode with Crosshair, he's technically not part of the Bad Batch anymore, but we've seen that before where they're just following some clones and what.
Yeah, we only saw Crosshair that one episode.
Oh, he's gonna come back.
I thought he was gonna be the bounty hunter, but it turned out not to be him.
He's still got a few more episodes. I didn't think it was the bounty hunter in that episode, but he's gonna be back, and we haven't seen him for a while, so I'm interested in what's going on with him and if he's changing his mind. He's definitely had a lot of things thrown at him that's making him discouraged about the situation he's in.
Well, after we saw him, he was talking to Commander Cody.
Yeah.
And now Cody's gone AWOL.
Well, for good reason.
Yeah. And so this clone conspiracy thing with the Senator Chuchi.
This is when the Senate is still going and people are under the illusion that it's actually doing anything.
Well, yeah, so it's a very interesting time period because the Empire has started, but they don't have absolute control. They don't have control. They don't have the military. They don't have an army because the clone army was created to fight the war, the Clone Wars, and now the Separatists. And now that that's over, all the clones are being decommissioned, and they've been subject to accelerated aging. So they're going to age out really soon. At this point,
they're still able to do work, but they don't want them to, and a lot of them are getting dissent in the ranks. And because especially if they blew up their own comrades.
But the point is, the Empire wants to start their galactic army.
Yeah,
because they need it for their Empire, so they have to get the Senate to approve it.
They need the Senate, although
because the Empire can't just do it on its own.
They actually need the Senate at this time, but soon they're going to get what they want, and then the Senate is.
Yeah, we know what's going to happen.
Right?
The Empire's going to take over.
The Senate is so important to everyone, and everyone thinks that they have no idea what's going on.
And senators do have a lot of power, but what they don't realize is they're all being played.
Yeah,
they're all being played no matter what.
He knows what's going on.
I don't know. He
knows a lot of what's going on.
I think he just survives a lot of the time. I don't think he knows what's going on that much.
He knows quite a bit. He knows more than anybody else.
He's part of starting the rebellion, but we're seeing Mon Mothma and Luthen are way more in Andor.
But they're all kind of separate. He's doing what he can from his place of power.
Yeah.
Basically.
Okay.
Anyway, so I thought it was really good. These 2 episodes were really good. I was really happy with them.
And then, so we get to see Rex in both of them there.
Yeah.
And the Truth and Consequences, they really follow through it. It's a great story. I won't tell you what happens at the end, but if you know what happens in episode 4, like how the Empire gets to be as powerful. Like, it's not going to
Oh,
have a
you
good
mean-
ending for the people that are fighting
you mean
against
the movies,
them.
yeah.
Okay? Because it's canonical too, right?
I know, but
So it's such an interesting time period of how they break it down. I could make some comparisons to a political party that existed in the 20th century, and they're making a lot of parallels
thing is
to.
that we don't.
That party doesn't exist anymore.
But the whole thing, which is haunting about this whole
That's
thing,
good.
is that we don't know what's going to become of these characters. Yeah, we know what becomes of Cody and Rex. But
Cody was in Rebels.
yeah, we've seen him, and I think Rex too. I'm pretty sure in the future.
We should go back
But
and
we
watch
don't-
those couple of episodes
They
where
were
we see
living
them.
together, were they not? There was a few of them living together. But anyway, regardless,
Mm-hmm.
we don't know. We never see this Bad Batch. We haven't seen these characters again.
Yeah, so they could die at any minute.
And
There's stakes, right?
Omega, never hear of her again at all. We haven't seen her in any of the other material.
Mm-hmm.
So we know that perhaps something bad is going to.
Well, I was
come.
surprised
I don't know.
I was surprised that Dave Filoni didn't bring Omega into Book of Boba Fett series
She hasn't
because
been seen anywhere. which
technically
means
she's his
probably-
sister.
Yeah, well, you know what he's like to.
I mean,
his
even though they're all
family.
clones, but she would be a sister to him because all the clones are brothers.
I know, but he was a special one because he was raised. They were him.
Well, he
yeah.
didn't have any age acceleration.
No,
but neither
he's
has
raised by his father though as
yeah,
well.
but
as
neither has
father.
Omega. So
No, but
Omega
she was
is this,
raised by some scientists.
but Omega is the same age as
I know
Boba Fett.
she's the same age, but she was raised. He was raised as if it was his child. That's the difference, and he learned to be a bounty hunter and all.
Well, he did also see his dad get his head chopped off there.
Yeah.
And,
Well-
Attack of the Clones there.
Yeah, so I don't know, but it's there's always a foreshadowing. We know that these characters don't show up anywhere in the future,
Mhm.
so it's kind of like something bad is going to happen.
Okay.
It's like listening to a song now of somebody that's died long ago, like a musician. That
Mhm.
person's good. It's sort of like that when you watch this.
Well, it's
'cause,
kind of like reading about the tale of the elves and learning the tragedy of the First Age
oh God,
in Tolkien
don't
lore.
God.
Because I know
I've
you're
been-
enjoying that book.
Oh my God, I have been. He's talking about. I have been trying very hard here to listen to. I'm reading it too. I've been reading with it because I've been listening to the Silmarillion.
Yeah, you gotta look at the book and the
I
maps in the
haven't.
book and use the appendices a
I
lot. It's like, who's
haven't.
this guy again?
And people have said that they love
And
this
use
book.
the family trees.
I don't call it a book. It's like reading the
It's a-
encyclopedia.
It's a history of these people. We're
It's-
way off. We're in different genre
I
now.
got 7 hours left. I'm
Yeah.
halfway through. It's been
We can
long
come back to
and
this if
torturous.
you want. But getting back to what we were talking about, Star Wars The Bad Batch Season 2, Episode 7 and 8. If you saw these, let us know what you thought of them down below, whether you liked them or not. If you haven't been checking out, where have you been? Like, this is great Star Wars stuff.
It
okay?
is.
The Bad Batch, it's on Disney+. Plus. They didn't pay me to say that. Let us know what you think. Do you want to talk about the Silmarillion for a little bit?
Mhm.
Or should we just move on to another
I was
review?
really looking forward to it. Now, because, with the Tolkien books, I've only read the Lord of the Rings series, and the Hobbit, and I really enjoyed them. I read The Hobbit a few times. I read the Lord of the Rings years ago. And,
It's dry, though. Oh,
I
jeez.
skipped over the battle in one of them. I remember that. But I did read them
It's hard
all.
to get through
I did
some of
enjoy
them.
I enjoyed them.
A lot of people can't read
So,
them.
I did enjoy them, but this I thought I was really gonna. It was just one I always knew I never had read, and I
Mhm.
heard people talk about it, and I was really wanting to read it, assuming it was a story, but it isn't.
Exactly.
No, it's not for everyone. It's definitely not really for me, but I'm getting through it because I'm trying to, and I'm seeing stories that perhaps they took and put in some of the.
How
the
can
show
you
that
say
we
it's
just
not
watched.
interesting to hear about the song of Iluvata
God, it is so boring.
and the Valar
Oh,
versus
God.
versus Melkor in in
It's
the age
written in
before
small
the children of
chapters.
Iluvatar
It's
awoke.
written in small chapters, and every chapter is about a different. Most of them are about a different character, and they all have similar names for the most part. And
No,
they're
they
all
don't.
fighting against Melkor.
Yeah, Melkor is
And-
completely different from the other Valar names.
He's the only one that's different. And they're all fighting against
And
him. But it
Manwë
is
set
fair-
onto Imu
And Uwe and oh my
in
gosh.
Valinor that Melkor
Oh.
had filled his heart with malice and
Oh my
jealousy.
god. Anyway, it's a lot. I don't recommend it. If you like reading encyclopedias, go for it. But I am getting through it because I've been watching. We just watched the recent Lord of the Rings.
Two Towers. Recent?
No, the recent
Oh,
show.
the Rings of Power.
The Rings of Power.
We also watched the Two
I know,
Towers
watching
last
that
weekend.
twice. Yeah,
You did?
so yeah, because I watched it from my mom and I watched it because I wanted her to see it
Oh, okay.
when I was home
She
at
enjoyed it?
Christmas. Yeah, she did. It was hard to try to
Hello
get
out
through
there
it
to
all.
Christine's mom, shout out.
So she enjoyed it because she's read the books too.
Okay.
But I
Has
just
she read the Silmarillion?
I don't know, but it is boring.
Leave a comment down below if
It is
you've read this.
boring.
Yeah?
But I'm getting through it. I'm halfway through. I'm continuing.
I never said it was a page
love,
turner.
like hearing a character I might have actually heard of, but I mean, it's
Elrond
just a lot.
and Galadriel.
I've heard his name once so far, Elrond.
Yeah, because it's
That's
not about
all.
him. You're supposed to know about Fëanor
I don't know
and
Fëanor yet.
Fingon.
No, it's everybody
brothers.
else. Oh my god.
And the other one,
it's
what's his
a
name?
lot.
Finwë?
Yeah, the other guy. What's his name? Exactly.
Yeah, what's his name?
It's a lot. It's not very interesting. And it's basically an encyclopedia, though, written in chapters.
It does have some really good, interesting stories in it.
I don't know. It's a lot. It's almost like the stories we learned in high school of the Greek gods.
Yeah, that's exactly what it's supposed to be similar to.
But they made more sense because they were more...
Short stories?
No, but they were also all of the same group and they interacted with one another.
Mm-hmm.
These people are a lot of them are separate and going their separate ways, and now we're dealing with their descendants.
They've set up with their kingdoms and so...
their descendants, and it's the story, like, it's piling on the years and the characters and all their names and all these places, which, other than Minas Tirith, there's none that I actually recognize the name of.
Minas Tirith is...
That's the only one so far that I've recognized the actual
Isn't that
name
in
of.
Mordor? No.
It's the tower. It's the watchtower. Anyway, it's the only one that I recognize the name of
Or is
it,
that
because
the
all
tower
the
in Gondor?
names
I don't know.
have changed
Yep.
in the books that I read now that are. This is supposed to be like thousands of years prior to.
Yeah,
these
this is the
books.
first age.
And there's not one hobbit in there yet,
No, because this...
or Bigfoot creatures or anything. There's no Ents.
Well, the Rings of Power is in the second age, and they don't even have hobbits then. They
No,
got the
but-
precursor, the Harfoots,
They
which
don't
were
have
really
any
boring.
tiny people in this at
This
all,
is
other
the-
than dwarves, and
this
they
is-
hardly have talked
This is
about
about the
dwarves at
first
all.
age and the time before that, with the Song of the Iluvatar, and then the War of the Valar against
Oh,
Melkor, and before
God.
that, the shaping of the world.
Well, they made
and
it to the Fourth War. That's as far as I got now. The Fourth War against Melkor.
when did they
It's
start
a
calling him
lot.
Morgoth?
Oh, well, sometimes they call him. It depends on what point of view it's dealing with. If you're talking with the original, like, Valar, they still call him Melkor.
Yeah, and then
Depends on your point
and then
of
what
view.
do the elves call him? Morgoth or something?
They
I
all call
don't-
him Morgoth for the most part, but the ancient original people don't. But like his kin, as they would say, as he says, call him
The Valar.
Call him Morgoth.
The Valar are the gods.
Yeah, they don't call him. They call him Melkor because that's he's like their brother or whatever. Anyway,
Yeah, he's the black
it's
sheep
a
of the
lot.
family.
I finally heard a tiny bit about Sauron. We
Yeah.
got a tiny bit about Sauron. Just came up to
That's
it at
his
7
lieutenant.
hours in. It's a lot. It's I don't enjoy it. I'd rather read a book about the Greek gods and goddesses, and that's saying a lot because I really didn't like learning about them in school. It's a lot, but I'm getting through it, and maybe I'll have more background about something. I'm just hoping for more as I go through. I'm just looking for more. I'm not getting it so far.
Okay. It's one of my favorite books. I haven't read it in a while, so I can't quote it like someone who's reading it right now.
Well, it's like reading the encyclopedia.
But maybe I'll get back to reading it again sometime after I get sick of reading all these Star Wars books that I'm reading right now. Are you guys big fans of the Tolkien lore? Maybe you've read the Silmarillion, maybe you've read Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit. Now,
it's not a real book.
If anyone out there has tried to read Tolkien and can't get through it, don't beat yourself up about it because it's hard to read and
The Hobbit
it's dry. It's dry. Even The Hobbit has parts where I'm like, what is this nonsense?
I love The Hobbit.
I don't want to read like a few pages of them singing. Come on.
I enjoyed all that. I liked all that. Yeah. But this doesn't have any songs, any words of songs. I don't know.
Christine's not having the most fun there in Middle Earth right now.
It's not even called Middle Earth.
Oh, it is Middle Earth. It's just different.
They don't call it that.
It is Middle Earth. It's just a different Middle Earth
because
the world changes.
I'm not able to recognize where they are or what they're talking about. Other than I know where the spider came from.
Okay.
There we go.
You guys big fans of the Tolkien lore or Middle Earth stuff in general? Let us know down in the comments whether you like it or not and why.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wasn't on my list, but I'll put that on my list. So, yesterday, I went to go see Magic Mike's Last Dance. And I
know, that was so odd you went to see that. But anyway.
I thought so too, but it was what's opening this weekend.
You had a chance to go, I guess.
Yeah, I did. Well, that is what's opening, and if I go and see Titanic, one, it's 3 hours and 15 minutes long, so that's way too long on a Thursday night when I got work on Friday, and I've seen it before.
Yeah, but we're gonna go to it.
It's an experience, and yeah, we'll probably take the kid and go see it.
I told her we're gonna go to it.
It's not new. It came out in '97.
It's not new.
So instead I went to go see the new movie, and that was the new movie that was out.
Okay.
So I've never seen any of the other Magic Mike movies, but people say they're good. And I don't mean women, I mean guys say they're good too as well. At least the first one.
I just heard women.
That's why they made a sequel. So now this apparently is the third one. First one I've seen. It was kind of a... I said it was an alright. It had a lot of boring stuff in it.
It doesn't look like something I'd be interested in.
I mean, most of it is just them like trying to put together this show that they want to do.
Oh.
And so I think it was an hour and 50 minutes. I think they could have cut half an hour out and it would be a way better experience.
I thought it was about an older woman seducing this guy or something.
Well, let's see.
Isn't that supposed to be
Selma Hayek. Yeah, it's Selma Hayek and Channing Tatum because he's Mike.
Yeah.
So they meet up. I'm not gonna spoil it, but they meet up and let's just say they become business associates, and then she decides that she has this theater in England, okay, in Winchester, I think it is, Westchester, and decides, hey, I got this famous theater, we're gonna put on a show and you're gonna be the director. Okay. And doesn't tell him until he's there when she makes the announcement to everyone.
Okay.
So apparently he's a stripper, so now he's he's doing choreographies for this dance show based on, what is it? Isabella Ascending is the source material.
I have no idea.
I don't know what that is.
I've never watched any of them.
Maybe that's a famous musical or theater production.
Not one I've heard of, but
so they changed it to make it this big male dance show.
Person. Okay.
And I mean, I understand why they brought this out. It's a date movie. It's a Valentine's Day weekend. I would say, yeah, take the girlfriend, take the wife to go see it. They'll have fun. There are a couple funny moments in the movie. It could have been shorter, though. There's no nudity in it. So, I mean, it's mostly just guys dancing with their shirts off. Okay? The most you see is like Channing Tatum a couple times he's dancing around in his boxers. Okay?
Well, that's disappointing to the women.
It's not that kind of movie.
I thought that's what the
There's no nudity in it.
Oh, well, probably no one go see it then.
Well, there was a bunch of women there going to see it.
Well, they were expecting less, not more. Less clothing.
Okay.
Anyway.
It's not terrible, but it didn't blow me away. No. I'm never going to watch it again. As I was not a fan of these movies. It had a low rating on Rotten Tomatoes. It was only at
so it didn't take enough clothing off, that's why.
I guess.
Well, that's why women go to see those Magic Mike movies.
Have you seen any of those Magic Mike movies?
I don't really care for stripper
It currently has a 47% critic rating, and 76% of audiences like it. Okay. I mean, the story is not that great, and they should have cut it down, but it passed the time. You'll make your girlfriend or your wife happy if you take her, and yeah. So, but for me, I give it worst movie ever because just okay means easily forgettable, makes the cardinal sin. There is some women dancing too in it, so it's not all for the ladies. Oh. Well, there's a big dance at the end between Channing Tatum and another lady dancer. Okay. So both, whatever you're into, you can enjoy that.
Okay.
I'm not going to go see this again. I'm never going to watch it again.
I'm not going to go see it.
I don't really care. It's nothing to me. But are you a big fan of Magic Mike series, this franchise? Did you see Magic Mike's Last Dance? Let us know down in the comments what you think and whether you liked it or not. Or maybe if your partner liked it and you didn't. Okay, are you going to go see this?
No, I don't want to see that at all.
So, next we got... Oh, we're going to talk together. I saw on Wednesday, I sat down, I went on Prime to watch House of Gucci.
I can't believe you never saw it.
From 2021.
I saw it seemed like ages ago, because it was during the pandemic, I guess. That's why it seems like it was years and years ago.
Yeah, it was in 2021, so there were still restrictions going on at the time.
4 years ago.
I never got around to seeing it, and I found out why, because it's 2 hours and 45 minutes.
Short,
2 hours and 40 minutes, I think.
But I think it was at the time. I could go and nobody was there. So I enjoyed that. I used to get in the theater to myself a lot of the time when I went to the movies at that time.
So I finally sat down and watched it, and it took me the whole night because I wasn't expecting it to be that long.
It's long.
Oh my goodness.
Big saga.
And I understand why this didn't make money. Because this was around the time that we'll talk about it. This is filmed by Sir Ridley Scott, and he came out and said some stuff that we'll talk about in a bit. But let's talk about this movie first.
Yeah.
Did you enjoy this?
I did.
What rating would you give this movie?
Well, I don't remember.
Also, we can spoil it now because this is from 3 years ago.
It was a while ago since I saw it, but I did enjoy it. I felt like it really took you into that world, and I thought the acting was really good. And Jared Leto was so weird, the guy that he played.
He was always a talking like a this.
Jeffrey?
The whole time. Paolo Gucci.
Yeah, he was...
You never respect my ideas. No, I'm not Italian, but he is talking like that the whole time, and everyone's like, what is he doing?
No, I thought the acting was really good. I thought it was really...
From Jared Leto?
Yes.
I didn't think so.
I thought that it was really believable, the way that all the way that they had everybody dressed, and I just thought it was really like you were in that world. I thought they did a great job of that.
All right.
Yeah, it's hard to go back and set a time and a place and have it be like realistic.
Adam Driver's in it, and he's good in everything.
He's awesome in it.
Okay. You got Lady Gaga.
Yeah, and she's awesome
quite good.
She's awesome in it too. I thought everybody was
getting better as an actress.
I thought she was really good in it.
You got Al Pacino in it. I've never been a big Pacino fan myself because he always has to scream and yell and freak out at every one of his movies.
I thought it was all good. I thought the acting was great. And
Jared
the
Leto
was great.
Jared Leto was pretty ridiculous and probably the worst part of the movie for me.
But he is the worst character, but I think he played him.
He's really overacting.
I don't find it. He seems like he's like an idiot, and that's exactly how that guy would be. That's exactly how that guy would be.
I guess.
That's what I thought.
But I didn't enjoy him in the role. But then again, I don't enjoy Jared Leto in anything. That guy,
Well, you're just biased against Jared Leto. I don't really have an opinion on him whatsoever. What I thought they were awesome
maybe
in
another
these
time
roles.
if we talk about Suicide Squad, I'll get into my bias against Jared Leto, but we're not going to get into that now.
Film, he was doing a great job, and it was a very, like, humbling, like, he didn't look very good in this movie.
Oh no, he had a bald head and everything.
He looked really bad.
He was bald with hair on the sides, but it was really
and
long.
He played
and
a really ridiculous
goofy mustache
character. I mean, yeah, I think I really enjoyed that they put me in that world, basically.
So, because this movie is from 2 years ago, we can spoil this. So, it's all about the Gucci... So, spoilers, I'll try and put that on the screen somewhere and leave it up there.
It's about real stuff
this really happened, so we can't really spoil it. Although, it's inspired by a true event, but the rest is made up.
When I was a kid, I wasn't familiar.
There is a real event that happened in real life. So spoilers, if you're still watching, that's on you. And I'll put the spoiler alert up. What's his name? Maurizio Gucci. He was assassinated in real life.
Yeah.
So that's Adam Driver's character.
Right.
So this is all about the Gucci family and how it's all just fighting amongst themselves for control of this company and what to do, and they all think they know what to do is best, right?
Yeah.
Some want to expand more, some want to be more exclusive, some just want to have they want to do the fashion designs for it.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the end, they all lose. Okay?
Gucci's still around today.
Gucci is still around, but none of the Gucci family own any part of it.
I thought they did a really good job of it, because it's hard when you're dealing with real life things that actually happened and real life characters.
It's all made up. I don't believe all this happened. The only thing that happened was Maurizio Gucci was assassinated. All this other stuff we don't know.
They were playing real people, is what I mean.
Yes, they were acting based off of the real people from documentation that they had.
People that were a part of this family.
But we don't know if all this stuff happened or not.
I thought it was really good. I enjoyed it.
So what kind of rating would you give this?
I don't know. It's been a while since I saw it. Definitely in the 80s. I liked it.
You give everything something in the 80s.
No, I don't.
Yeah, you have for a lot, even
give the Eternals nothing.
Why do you always got to bring everything back to the Eternals? We're talking about House of Gucci here.
I don't know. I give it like an 85 or something. I can't remember now, but I liked it. I remember this movie, because you know me, I have a problem remembering what happened.
Okay.
And I remember a lot of things about this movie. Mm-hmm. So that means it was a good one.
Okay. I give this movie a worst movie ever. It was too long. Okay. They should have cut out at least an hour of this movie. I don't care what they cut out, because it was all made up anyway. I don't like Jared Leto, so right away I'm like, I don't want to watch this, because I hate watching him in everything. I can't think of one thing that I like watching him in. Even one of my favorite movies of all time is, and I don't know if it still is, but Fight Club. He's in that. I don't like watching him in that either. But
it doesn't seem like you're watching Jared Leto in this movie. It seems like a different guy altogether.
It is, but his overacting and his being an idiot really bothered me.
I think he's that idiot cousin that they had to deal with, and there are people like that. I just thought he was believable.
Maybe each their own, right? And the other thing about this was, I mean, as it's all made up, I don't know if I could buy all of this stuff, right?
I definitely thought it was really good. And
I don't think all this happened, but at the same time, this is not a really interesting movie for a premise for a movie. The Gucci family fighting amongst themselves until they all get themselves kicked out of their own company, and one of them ends up getting killed.
I think that is a good story.
For a 2 hour and 40-minute long movie?
It's not about superheroes.
No, I don't care that it's not about superheroes.
Well, it's a normal movie about something that happened.
It's not The Departed. Okay? It's not Casino. It's not The Godfather.
I thought it was a really good portrayal. I thought it's got an interesting story. It's actually something that actually did happen, and they're showing what happened. Anyway, I don't know. Just because there's not people flying around and running around and punching each other.
I just mentioned 4 other movies or 3 other movies about mobsters that have nothing to do with people punching each other or superheroes
and robbers, and it's not about superheroes, and it's not about car chases. It's about a family.
Yeah, I get all
Right?
that. That's not why I don't like it. I don't think this is an interesting premise for a movie. And I don't know. What do you guys think of House of Gucci? I give it a worst movie ever. Christine says it's in the 80s. What'd you say, 85?
I say 85. I liked it.
Okay, so that's an A, I guess.
I
I
just
didn't
went-
like
I
it.
went
What do you
with
guys
what
think
they
of
were-
this?
How they were portraying
One
it.
thing
thought
I
it
would
was
like to
enjoyable.
mention, there's something really interesting about this movie. When it came out, Sir Ridley Scott was in the news talking trash because he had 2 movies come out this year in the middle of the pandemic, and they both bombed. Okay, this movie didn't make any money.
Doesn't mean it's not a good movie though.
Oh,
Nobody
absolutely.
was going to the theater. I think I went. There was probably only allowed to have 10
Absolutely.
people in the
But
theater.
just because your movie flops, okay, doesn't mean you made a bad movie. It just means it didn't find an audience. Now, this movie's not really for me, but Christine really liked it, and a lot of other people liked it too. The people that did like it, I think they gave it a good rating. You want me to look it up?
Fine, you can look it up, but I saw it
Okay.
and I liked it.
Yeah. So you liked it, and that's great. And I'm sure there's a lot of other people. If other people liked it, then let us know. We want to hear from you and why you liked it. I don't think a lot of people saw it. So the audience score is 83%. 83% of liked it, but only 62% of
That's
critics.
a high audience score.
Yeah, but it's a low critic
Well,
score.
I don't care. It was a good movie.
Okay. Didn't work for me, but what happened was Sir Ridley Scott was out promoting this movie, and they were
Okay.
asking him because he had just a few months previously came out with The Last Duel. I think that came out in the summer of that
Right,
year.
I did see that one.
I saw that on streaming,
I saw it in the theater.
and
though.
that movie didn't make any money, and so he
well,
was
no
in.
one was seeing movies at that time.
Yeah, exactly, right? So he came out and he was saying some pretty dumb things in the media. Would you like to hear what he said? Because I remembered
Okay.
this, and normally when you think of directors saying dumb things to the media, obviously you think James Cameron. He's always talking trash, you know?
Right.
He's always pissing people off. But here's what Ridley Scott had to say. You're going to love this. I'll put it up on the screen. So he said, and they were asking him about how the movie Last Duel had such a low performance. So here's his quote. I think what it boils down to, this comes to us from Friday. I think what it boils down to, and what we've got today, are the audiences who were brought up on these fucking cell phones. The millennials do not ever want to be taught anything unless you are told it on the cell phone, Scott continued. This is a broad stroke, but I think we're dealing with it right now. With Facebook, there is a misdirection that has happened where it's given the wrong kind of confidence to this latest generation. I think he's talking trash about his audience.
Well, he's saying only millennials go to his movies.
He's saying that they don't want to go see his movies because it's not on their phones. He's saying
Well,
it's
I'm not a
millennials and
millennial.
cell phone and smartphones and cell phones that are
has anything to do
reason
with
why
any of
people
it.
aren't going to see his movies.
All those youngins
Now,
today.
I gotta tell you something about myself. Technically, I'm a millennial. Okay?
Well,
By
yes.
about 6 months. So
Well-
I am the old man of the millennial generation.
But as you know, like there is a big difference between us. I'm definitely
Yeah.
a Gen Xer.
Yeah, because you're a
And
couple years older than
I
me.
can see the difference. I see why you're labeled a millennial. Although I think I'll call you a high millennial.
Well, because
Low
because I'm
millennial.
one of the older ones, I have things in common with Gen Xers as well
I'm
as
I'm right in
millennials.
the middle of the Gen
So,
Xers.
This
so.
is a really dumb thing for Sir Ridley Scott to say because he needs his audience to come and support his movies, and if people don't come and support his movies, and you turn around and talk trash about those people,
Personally,
they're not going to come and see your
I
movies.
think the problem with the
That's
last
a really
duel
dumb thing to say.
was that it wasn't. It was supposed to be about the woman's point of view, and I think a
Mhm.
woman didn't make that movie, and I think that was the problem with that movie. It didn't go
Think
far
Ridley
enough.
Scott did a bad job with that movie?
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
I saw it. Too.
And it was dealing with, first it deals with like the one guy's perspective, and then it deals, but it kind of, in the end, it kind of overwrote the woman's perspective in the end.
Okay.
And I wasn't happy with it. I thought it was trying to sell the woman's perspective,
Mm-hmm.
but it didn't go far enough. I wasn't pleased with it.
No. I can't even remember who won in the end. Was it Matt Damon? Was it
I
Affleck?
don't know, but it was about people's perspective, but they kind of overwrote the woman's perspective in the end, and it was supposed to be basically she was the one that was harmed in the whole thing.
Oh, yeah.
And anyway, I thought it did demonstrate that it was an old man making a movie about a woman.
Okay.
It didn't go far enough. I think it needed to push it a little bit more.
More of a feminist perspective?
Yeah, it was because in the end, it kind of ended with the man's perspective in the end. And because it did like 3 perspectives, right?
Yeah, I remember that, but I don't even remember how it ended. I think Matt Damon won,
I wasn't pleased with it in the end. I was like...
It was a duel, and when was this duel? It was in
ages ago.
15th or 16th century?
Or even before. It was in the, people... It was a long time ago. Anyway, it really happened, apparently.
It's documented.
Based on a story that really happened.
It's based on a documented event, I believe, and then they just made up the rest.
But
now, I don't know if it's accurate.
I don't know.
I didn't really... I thought it was okay.
I remember thinking it just didn't go far. It was trying to accomplish something, but it didn't, just miss the mark.
I mean, I enjoyed... didn't Sir Ridley Scott make Kingdom of Heaven? I enjoyed that movie. It was long, though. And then there was a director's cut that was better, but it was even longer. It was over 3 hours.
Well, he just made the recent...
Whoa.
Dune, wasn't that his most recent thing?
That's Denis Villeneuve.
Oh, I thought he made that. No, it wasn't Dune. What was the one that he made with the aliens that I really liked? He was involved in that one.
Alien?
With the... No.
Prometheus?
No.
Alien Covenant?
No.
The Martian?
No. The show about the robots that got sent to the other planet. It's really cool. I really enjoyed it. The mother.
Dark Matter?
And the father. No. It's a Canadian show.
Yeah. I don't know.
I really enjoyed that one.
But
it was about basically the world was blown up.
I thought that was a really dumb thing
and they had to escape to this other planet, and the robots got there first, and they raised embryos.
You're not thinking of Battlestar Galactica?
Oh my gosh, no! You don't ever even watch Battlestar Galactica. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I'm not a Battlestar Galactica fan, but
anyway,
I just thought it was interesting to bring up this quote from Sir Ridley Scott, because he said this while he was trying to promote his other movie, House of Gucci, and he said some really dumb stuff, and I just remembered that, and I thought I would bring that up. Okay, so... Did you guys know that about Ridley Scott? And did you hear about that? What do you think? Is he right? Is he wrong? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments below.
Raised by Wolves.
Raised by Wolves, okay.
I really enjoyed it. I really did, and it got canceled, but I did enjoy it.
Do you want to do your next review on the Marple 12 New Mysteries?
One review. Yeah, that's really my big
Is this a
review.
show or a book?
Now, I will say, it has different names, and I think it has different names in different countries.
Mm-hmm.
The one that was presented to me was called Marple 12 New Mysteries, but I've also seen it called Marple 12 New Stories.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if that's the UK, and I'm not sure which version I've got, but it's under 2 different names.
Mm-hmm.
So it came out in September. And what it is it's a
bunch of different artists.
Yeah, different writers, female writers, that have written a short story about Miss Marple. Basically, they took that character that we know, Agatha Christie's character, and they took other characters like her nephew and stuff, and they wrote a short story about her.
Mm-hmm.
And I really enjoyed it. It's almost like you get all these books in one. So Lucy Foley is someone who I just was talking about on our show. I've read some of her books. She's one of the writers. We have Naomi Alderman, Leah Berdago, Alyssa Cole, Ellie Griffiths, Natalie Hines. Anyway, there's a whole bunch of them.
But are these books good?
Ruth Ware as well. I just read one of her books.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I've really enjoyed them. The only thing is I had to start again a couple times because I had to get one was done, and now I had to start with this next one. It's like a whole little book.
So they're short stories.
It's a mystery or story in each one. And there's usually a murder. And of course she's there. And she's always there.
Okay, she's Angela Lansbury. Everywhere she goes, people are being murdered and she has to investigate it.
They copy Angela Lansbury off of her. Because, yeah, it's basically, if she's in the room, there's going to be a murder, right?
Apparently everyone in that town she lives in,
and it talks
a murderer.
And some of them are, like, written in different... I really enjoyed it. It was a different take on the characters. She's in different locales. They have her traveling with her nephew, Raymond. They use him a lot because he had the money in the family, was able to send her places. And then some are just taking place in her hometown of St. Mary Mead. Anyway, it was I really enjoyed it. The only thing I just had to, like, okay, erase what I just read, and now we start with a new version. I had to get into the characters again and get into that of each story. But I really enjoyed them, and they were really fun. So it was like having...
But wasn't it the same character going throughout all of them, you said? It was Agatha Christie?
No, it was Miss Marple in all different situations.
Yeah.
They weren't dependent upon
so you don't
one
have
another.
you don't have to get used to the same character. It's always the same character.
No, I mean, I had to just... There's a whole new set of people in each story.
Ah, gotcha.
It's not like a book.
Just like Knives Out, then, too. And all the Agatha Christie stuff, except...
No, but it's each chapter is a different story.
Yeah.
It's all written by different people, so it's not continuous. And the last story is like something we see. Miss Marple is finding her age difficult.
Okay.
I'll just give that's not
being
really
a senior.
Yeah.
Okay, fair
She
enough.
has to, like,
so it's about getting old.
Catch her breath a little bit and stop. She's finding it hard to keep up. Yeah.
Tracking down all those murderers.
Kind of sad. Yeah, and but it's quite interesting, and there are different takes on the character and everything, and how, of course, everybody kind of doesn't care about her. They don't notice her because she's just an old woman.
Yeah.
You know, and they don't realize how smart she is and everything. It's quite complicated, some of the stories, too. I really like them.
And with all the... Now, I haven't read any of these things, but with every single one being written by a different author... That's great because you get very different interpretations of the character.
I really enjoyed it.
And the process. It's just like what I'm always saying for movies. I don't like it when you have the same person directing all the movies. Things, when they become great, is when you have different interpretations of it. So I don't want to see Star Wars all by George Lucas, right? Because then they're all the same. And sometimes people don't like them. But when you get different interpretations, okay? So I don't remember who directed... Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
I think it was one of his teachers there, and so we got a different interpretation, and it was great. It built on the first one, and then Return of the Jedi, that was made by a different director as well, but he was mostly just a yes man for George Lucas.
Right.
And then with the prequels were all made by George Lucas, and we know your thoughts on those prequels.
Yeah.
And a lot of people didn't really care for those, and now we've got like Abrams. And then, who else we got there? Who did Last Jedi there? Rian Johnson. Some people like it, some people don't. Each to their own. We got Rogue One by Gareth Edwards.
Right.
So it's all these different interpretations, right? And so you can do that with this Miss Marple character. Well, some of these stories,
like, there's one that's written from the point of view of a man in the story. He tells the whole story. You know, it's just interesting. Yeah, like in that story, she's at this seaside holiday spot. Another story, they've gone to the States because Raymond, they're actually putting on one of his plays because he's a writer, and they go there and there's something. So it's just different
settings, and different characters, and everywhere you go, there's murder or foul.
Yeah, or like a mystery of some kind.
Are you finished all of these?
Yeah, I read the whole thing.
Okay,
really
so what kind of rating?
That's why I said at the end, she's starting I think they chose that story for the end because she is starting to feel her age. And we don't really see that much. Well, I haven't read all of it.
So it's just one book.
It's one book.
It's one book, all these different chapters. Gotcha.
Yeah.
So what would you give this book?
Oh, I
Best book ever, worst book ever.
Oh, well, I don't do that. I definitely give it like a 90, 92. It's not a full story, like a whole Miss Marple mystery, but I thought it was a real sweet treat to have these new stories, because I have read a lot
Sounds like
of her stuff.
Same thing what they did with that Star Wars Visions on Disney Plus there. All these different animated shorts by different creators. So
Right. It also spans over many different years as well.
What's it called again? Marple
called
12 New Mysteries, which
or
came out last year.
Marple 12 New Stories.
Excellent. Anyone else check that out there? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Now, moving on, I got 2 quick things that I'll review. So I watched a movie on Netflix after I tried to watch Pamela Love Story. I turned that off, and then I checked out this other movie that was on my list. It was called Day Shift. It stars Jamie Foxx, Dave Franco, who we haven't seen for a little bit.
I don't know who Dave Franco is.
James Franco's brother.
Oh.
He was in. So James Franco doesn't work anymore because
his brother okay? Is he?
Apparently, he wasn't connected
He wasn't
to that.
Connected with
but he was
bad?
working with his brother a lot.
Well,
he was in those Jump Street movies.
He was?
As the villain. Yeah, he was the high school kid that became the villain, and then he made a cameo in 22 Jump Street with Don Rickles there, and they were in jail.
Don't just tell me. I don't remember. I didn't know that was his brother.
So he's in it, and who else is in this? There's some other people that I don't really recognize them. So this was a wacky, way over the top action movie.
Oh yeah.
So this is like an action movie stereotype from 30, 40 years ago.
From the 80s.
Yeah, possibly. Where it's okay, so you got the badass stereotypical cop who
yeah.
doesn't play by any of the rules, and he doesn't follow procedures because he has to go alone.
Right.
Okay, and he can't call it in. And then you got the captain who's really upset all the time and yelling at him all the time.
Yeah.
But you can't make
movies.
movies.
He gets the job done.
Yeah, exactly. So you can't make movies like that anymore because of problems with police brutality and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And you know, so let's not get into that. So how they get around doing this is they make this old school stereotypical movie, but it's a vampire movie.
Oh gosh, it's
so
a vampire
that's why
movie.
It's a day shift, because he gets stuck working the day shift. So in this world, and I can spoil it because this came out last summer.
He's a vampire?
No, he's not a vampire. So he's a vampire hunter. But he's on his own, and so he has to join this secret agency because no one knows there's vampires. Only a select few. Okay?
Only the ones with the little bites there.
No, so only this agency, they know about these vampires, and he hunts them, and he has to work. He wants to work for this agency so he can get better pay. He needs to get union rates.
Oh yeah, he's only like on the B team right now.
He's a rogue agent, right? So he has to join this agency, which he was a part of, but he got kicked out because he didn't follow the rules. So he's going to get one more chance, and so he gets assigned a union rep who has to follow him around, who's Dave Franco.
Okay.
So Dave Franco is the stereotypical bureaucratic nerd. Never been in the field, doesn't want to go in the field. I mean, they make the guy pee himself twice in the movie.
Oh my God.
I'm like, okay, because you start watching
I suppose it is vampires.
Because you start watching
Not
it, and
criminals.
then suddenly Jamie Foxx is getting into a fight with this old lady, and you're like, why is he beating up this old lady? She's a vampire.
Vampires.
And he accidentally pisses off the villain in this movie because this old lady grandma that he kills at the beginning of the movie was this vampire like gang lord. It was her daughter. Who she made into a vampire when she was really old. So he accidentally kills her, so now she's out for blood. And there's quite a bit of blood in it.
Is it fun?
It's pretty wacky and fun.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff you're like, oh my goodness, but it is fun. Oh, and the other person who's in it, you'll love this. Snoop Dogg.
Oh, why not?
Not just as a cameo in like a small supporting role.
Oh.
Because he's not an actor.
Is Martha Stewart in it too?
No, I didn't see her. But he's getting more screen time now because he used to do cameos 20 and 25 years ago.
I remember he was in the Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, he was in that.
Fun doing that.
He did a cameo in Dave Chappelle's movie Half Baked.
I think. Did he not play himself in the Trailer Park Boys?
He always plays himself. He played himself in Old School with Will Ferrell and Luke Owens from 20 years ago. And like I said, he was in Dave Chappelle's movie Half Baked.
Oh, of course.
So now he's in a small supporting role, and he's the old grizzled mercenary vampire hunter. He's like...
Oh, he's a vampire.
He's
the
goat. He
wasn't a vampire.
he's the vampire hunter. He's the goat. He's the best one at it.
Oh, I think he'd be cool as a vampire.
At one point, he just busts in with a minigun, and he's shooting everyone, but they're all vampires.
Right.
There's a lot of blood and guts
sure
in
they
this,
had fun
but
doing
it's
that.
all black, so they get away with putting a lot of blood in
it's
it.
black blood.
And it's almost Deadpool-esque level violence, not
Right.
quite, but there's a lot of... Anyway, the story is just ridiculous and dumb, and everyone's a complete stereotype, but he has to join the union because he's got to get more money because his ex-wife is leaving. He's moving across the country with the kid because the kid needs braces, so he has to get like 10 grand for her this week. I don't know why it's so urgent.
That's how much it costs.
But why do you have to get it in like a few days?
Because you have to pay that orthodontist. I know all about it. We're going through it right now.
So it's a crazy story, okay? And I don't know if I'll ever watch it again, but I'll give it a best movie ever. It was fun. It was fun. And the reason it's called Day Shift is because once you work for this agency, if only the best work the night shift when all the vampires are out.
Right. The day
so
shift
if you're a loser,
easy.
you get set. No, the losers get stuck on the day shift, so they don't get to earn as much money.
Oh, right.
So he gets stuck on. He gets
vampires.
a second chance, and he gets put on the day shift.
Oh.
Anyway, it's pretty funny. It's pretty wacky. I'd recommend checking it out. Came out last August, I think. I don't know if you'd like it.
It sounds funny.
Do you think you'll check it out?
I don't know. If I'm bored,
It's like less than 2 hours. It's on Netflix, so...
Okay.
Anyway, I'd recommend checking it out. It's a fun watch. It's one of the rare fun Netflix movies.
Right.
Has anyone seen it? Because I'm late to watching it. Let us know what you think down in the comments below. Okay, one last review. Like I said, this is a longer episode, then we got some comments we're going to do. Last thing is I watched all 8 episodes of Freeridge.
Right. I watched 1.3.
This is a really weird show.
I did not like it. I thought I was going to like it. I was really looking forward to it being really funny.
Mm-hmm.
But unfortunately, the only funny things were in the in the trailer.
It wasn't... Well, there was some other funny stuff, but...
That funny.
It wasn't as funny as the trailer made it seem to be. But this show was really weird because first I noticed, I'm like, these kids... It's set today, but these kids don't talk the way kids do today.
No, and they're they got a line for everything. They talk, they're so confident. They don't act like kids. They don't talk like kids.
This show, I believe this show was made for Gen Xers and older millennials. Because the whole time I'm watching it, I'm getting 80s and early 90s references and vibes from this show. And there was some stuff they did copy. They copied Michael Pena from the Ant-Man movies with telling stories and that. They did copy that a little bit in this show. Maybe you didn't see it.
I don't know. I was really disappointed in it.
It's supposed to be a show. They advertise it as these 4 kids, they buy this box and it's cursed, and now they're all cursed.
Well, the first episode, they weren't really even knowing they were cursed. They were just guessing it was cursed.
Yeah, they were kind of dragging it out. Good kitty.
I just didn't like it. The funny thing was in the trailer, and that was the only thing.
The fight.
I didn't like it. I thought the kids were not believable.
No.
They had smart, and the conversations they're having are like conversations, like a 60-year-old woman should be having with her best friend.
This is why I say
the conversations are not.
This is why I say this show is for Gen Xers and older millennials, because the
Xer.
show that
I didn't like it.
And it's not all of them. It's only a certain group of them. If you watch certain things in the 80s and 90s.
On the phone.
Okay?
And we used to talk on the phone and be like, "Oh yeah, what happened in school today?" And we would say something. We'd say, "Yeah, yeah," and that would be it. We didn't have these giant long conversations about our identity and our place in society. And we did it on the phone, by the way. Anyway, I just thought it's just not believable.
Yeah, I can see that. What it reminded me of the most was Beverly Hills 90210, which was late 80s, early 90s. So that was a show that was made for Gen Xers and possibly older millennials, because that was around the time when, most people only had one TV in their house. And I end up having to watch it a lot, even though it wasn't for me.
I was already grown up, so I didn't watch that.
Okay. So as I'm watching, I'm like, this is Beverly Hills 90210, because the way they talk and the characters.
Fancy? does Beverly Hills. That was the whole idea. The 90210 is a rich place. These people
Yeah,
aren't dressed
but
like
this
that.
but the conversations and the interactions were the same.
Are just wrong.
And there's so much references to like all these different 80s things and 90s stuff.
Know.
I'm
it's
like,
just these kids.
This is weird.
Would not be talking like this. They wouldn't be acting like this. It wasn't funny. The story was not that great.
Mm-hmm.
And it didn't it needed to be, oh, the box is cursed. Well, we don't really know if the box is cursed or not. It's just some bad things happen. I mean, I remember when I was a kid, I wore this pin this one day, and 3 bad things happened. And then a few weeks later, I wore the pin again, and 2 bad things happened. So then I thought the pin was cursed. Was the pin cursed? No.
You want to know if the box is cursed?
It's just a dumb show.
Do you want to know if the box in the show is cursed or not?
Is it cursed?
Spoilers, it's not cursed.
Well, it didn't seem. They had no...
Okay, the show ends on an 80s movie reference.
Oh.
Okay? Have you ever seen the movie Brewster's Millions? Starring Richard Pryor and John Candy.
Is this the one about the two old fellas that make the bet?
No.
Oh.
No, that's Trading Places.
Oh, Trading Places.
That's
no.
Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Eddie Murphy's in that one, yeah. No, I don't think I saw
Okay.
I don't think I saw that one.
Yeah, and a lot of people wouldn't. So, but who would? A certain group of Gen Xers and older millennials would have watched Brewster's Millions. And so it ends on that reference, and I'm like, that movie's actually a pretty good movie. It's quite funny.
Well, I didn't see a lot of movies.
Okay, and it's one of the John Candy movies that I like. But I don't see why they're ending us on that reference.
I just think the show.
And then at other times it referenced.
Is wrong.
It seemed to me like if it was copying Booksmart or referencing, homaging Booksmart, which only came out a few years ago.
Their soliloquies are too much. It's just too much, and it's not funny. It's not telling a very believable story.
Yeah, so that's why as I'm watching it, I'm thinking, who is this made for? Because it seems so much like 90210, and there's all these 80s and 90s references, and then there's more recent references, and I'm sitting there, so I'm thinking, this is supposed to be for a millennial, say around you, okay? So a millennial of your age who watched those shows.
Not a millennial.
Oh, sorry, Gen Xer, I apologize. So a Gen Xer around your age who watched all these shows and movies back in the day, and now you can watch this, and it's PG, there's barely any swearing in it, and then, what, are you supposed to watch it with your kids? I'm like, this is has a weird target audience.
I don't think
because who else is going to watch this?
Gone wrong. I think the show is just mixed up.
I think it has a very specific audience, and everyone else is not going to like it. And I got
90210. The whole idea was that they're in a 90210, like that postal.
You're not understanding what I'm saying.
And it was like rich kids.
I'm saying the vibes and
the
type of conversations.
It's just wrong. It's not a good show. Unfortunately, it's missed the mark.
Didn't we just get a 90210 reference in something?
I don't know. I never cared for that.
It was a funny reference in a show.
Older when it came on. I wasn't into that teeny bopper stuff at the time. Anyway.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, so Christine didn't like it after the first episode. I thought it was, it was okay. It had a couple of jokes. Okay, let me finish. So it had a couple of jokes. But most of it was, this is not a really believable world, and this is not how they make teen shows now. It has to be more realistic. This seems as if it was a show that was pre-Roseanne, if you remember that show from the 90s, because then it started getting a little bit more realistic, instead of like this posh world where everyone has all this money and like problems just kind of go away. It was weird. So, end of the day, I give this a worst series ever, because I'm not going to ever watch this again. It was easily forgettable. It was just kind of nothing. And it was a little weird with how I kept getting all these vibes from 90210 and all these other 80s and 90s stuff.
I just think it was not a good show.
And this show was made in the wrong time period. So that's my thoughts on Freeridge, and that's what Christine thinks. Did you watch it? Let us know what you think down in the comments below. So we're going to wrap it up. But before we wrap it up, we got some comments from some people. So, what do we got here? I'm going to go on to...
Yeah, when we were talking about our picks for February, when we saw Freeridge, I thought that looked really great, and I was really interested. And I didn't want to see Lockwood and Company. It looked really dumb. And in the end, Lockwood and Company was a lot better show than Freeridge. But you never do know.
We didn't get any emails.
From the trailers and stuff. You can never really tell.
On Twitter, Anuka replied to us at Canada Hosers, thank you, said Mo is funny, sad, and sweet. So thank you for that comment there, Anuka. Is that how you found that show?
It wasn't funny enough. I think because the CBC didn't do it. It wasn't funny enough, but I liked it.
Was it sad and sweet at the same time?
It was sad. And it's basically a sad show. It's about heavy topics.
Mm-hmm.
But it could have been funnier. I've seen stuff like that done funnier, I guess is the thing. It could have been, but it was still good. I still enjoyed it.
Well, thank you for that comment, Anuka. I can't comment because I didn't see it. And we got a message, actually came in January 3rd, but I forgot it, from Eric Swalwell on Twitter. So a DM, he says, Kevin McCarthy just kicked off the House Intelligence Committee. He told reporters, if you got a briefing I got from the FBI, you wouldn't have Swalwell on any committee. Interesting. We all know that's BS. Kevin and his MAGA mob hate me because I will never stop speaking truth to power exposed. Well, thank you for the message there, Eric Swalwell, but we can't really comment on that because we're here in Canada.
I don't even know what he's talking about.
He's talking about the American political system there. Kevin McCarthy is the House of Representatives
What does that
Speaker.
have to do with our show?
Exactly, nothing.
He's just sending probably a message to everybody.
He's just spamming anyone who might accidentally following him.
Oh my goodness.
We're not Americans. We can't comment on that, and we
don't
talk about politics on the show, but thanks for your message. If you have any thoughts on movies or trailers, TV shows, let us know, buddy.
I didn't realize he was sending it to you, just sending it to everybody. Or we could. Anyway, that's more like junk mail, that one, I think.
Yeah, so I also got some other comments here on Twitter.
He was talking about what Kevin Feige or something. I don't know what he was talking about. What is that all about?
Oh, yes, we got a bunch of comments on YouTube, actually, as soon as I can find it here.
Okay.
So, we got a couple new subscribers, so that's fun. So, let's see what we got here. Max Headroom, who has that Max MTV guy profile pic. Nice. You remember that guy from MTV?
Of course. And he was in Orphan Black. He was the villain in Orphan Black.
Who's that actor?
That is... Now that you say that, I can't remember
But
his
you know
name.
the guy I'm talking about from MTV in the 80s, right? Okay. So, anyway, Max Headroom commented, he said, Billy Corgan is reviewing movies now? Question mark. So he's comparing me to Billy Corgan. Well, thank you very much Max Headroom.
Smashing Pumpkins?
Yeah.
I got a cute story to talk about them.
I wish I had that guy's kind of money because I don't even have money to buy microphones for this show. But, okay, tell us your Billy Corgan story quickly.
It's not about him, but when we were younger, like, their songs came out, they were popular, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And my uncle was asking about the music we were listening to, and he's like, what about those Broken Squash?
You mean Smashing Pumpkins?
He called them the Broken Squash.
Okay.
It was cute. It made us laugh. He was trying to be, like, hip with the youngsters there.
He was fitting in with the young crowds. Well, anyway, thanks for the comment there, Max Headroom. And also, Uggs Sarmento commented, he said, clap, he just emojis, clap, clap, and then I think a smiley face.
Matt Frewer, that's the guy that played Max Headroom.
So this was on my 80 for Brady spoiler-free out of the theater reaction that we saw the sneak peek for. So anyway, Uggs Sarmiento, thank you very much. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that right. You can leave a comment on anything that we talked about or anything you would like us to talk about. You can comment there and we'll read it out in the next show. How can people get in touch with us, Christine?
Well, they can do it a few ways. They can email us at CanadaMovieTVHosers@gmail.com.
Yep.
Or they can follow us on Twitter at Canada Hosers, or follow Gregory.
That's where we post whenever a new episode goes up. So follow us on Twitter.
Follow Gregory at St. John's Critic. And if they want to discuss us or mention us in their Twitters, they can use the hashtag Canada Hosers.
I'll put all that up on the screen, and also it's going to be down in the description below. And it's not Twitters, it's tweets. You send out tweets, right? Don't worry, I'll teach you how to use Twitter sometime there.
Twitterers.
All right. So sorry for a longer episode. We had a lot of stuff to get through, and we had to talk about the Fast X trailer, which Christine is super excited for now.
And Kay was so good.
She was. She didn't even really. She only got up like
so
once.
Sleepy.
Okay, we're gonna sign off now. Take care, everyone.
Bye.
Bye from Mexico.